In a now pointless, almost I think fruitless quest to sort of prove that no, this isn't the a Tory party. We have a left wing Labour MP here today calling not only for a wealth tax but also starting a campaign which will probably join with other campaigns to push Labour to do a wealth tax. I think this would be good to do. However, I have problems with the wealth tax itself. I think there are better ways to do one. I've often talked whenever we discuss about this that Richard Burton, tax accountant, has written a blog about this. Why a wealth tax may initially start off as a good thing, but it might diminish over time. That there are far, far better ways to tax a lot more sort of wealthy people. So I do think there are better ways to do it. However, wealth tax again, something I'd like to see. But again, this sort of proves people wrong that there are left wing MPs in the Labour Party. There are progressives in the Labour Party. You can do this, and suspiciously, he's not been kicked out. It's almost like the people who were claiming that they were booted out of the Labour Party are left of their own volition. But anyway, we're going to go over this blog written by him where he calls for a wealth tax, and of course, why a wealth tax would be good to have on the UK. Mostly, of course, really to sort of help tackle, the super rich like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, etc. But of course, there are positives that would mean helping funding public services and other things that money could go towards as well. So it is, well worth something that we should be sort of discussing. So, as always, before we do get into this, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button down below. There are links to my Patreon page, the One Off Daily link, or Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And of course, as always, you can click the like and share button as well. Yeah. Anyway, let's crack on into this. So, the super rich are out of control. It's time for a wealth tax. Richard Burton, MP. So, Donald Trump, at Donald Trump's inauguration, he was flanked by four of the world's richest five men. Just like with reform here, Trump's so called populism is really about serving the rich and powerful while driving back the living standards of ordinary people and scapegoating the most vulnerable. Our movement must now stand for the exact opposite. We must demand that the super rich now pay their fair share. That is how we can help rebuild our public services, tackle poverty, and create a more equal society. This is the kind of change that people are crying out for. Billionaires have never had it so good. According to a new report by Oxfam, the world's five richest men have now doubled their wealth since 2020, and nearly 5 billion people have lost out. And it's getting worse. Billionaire wealth globally rose 3 times faster in 2024 than it did in 2023. Britain alone and Britain's billionaires increased by over 35 million every single day in just 2024. Just a few days after Oxfam released its new report on the billionaire wealth, new data revealed that nearly 1 in 5 people in the UK are now living in poverty. That's over 14 million people, including 4 million children. The gap between the super rich and the rest of us has never been wider. But inequality on this scale isn't just an accident. It is the exact outcome of our rigged economic model that is designed to deliver. And it is a result of the political choices. We need to win the battle of ideas so that different decisions are now made. We need to take back real control, which means stopping those with extreme wealth from dominating our economy and our democracy for the benefit of their own. That's why I am now campaigning for a wealth tax on the super rich. I recently delivered a petition in Parliament backed by 50,000 people calling for a wealth tax. I have now also launched a campaign to even take this call further. Again, good. That's what he should be doing. That is what we want to see. But again, according to other people, oh, he can't do this, can't do this. But here he is doing it. Anyway, a wealth tax on the super rich, of course, is not just a moral imperative, but is a practical solution to some of the biggest challenges that we now face. The numbers speak for themselves. The modest wealth tax of just 2% on assets worth over 10 million could raise 24 billion a year. Such a wealth tax would not only affect around 20,000 people. The UK is also crying out for investment in our NHS, schools, and energy and transport infrastructure. All are now building social housing. A wealth tax could raise vital funds for all that. It too would, of course, be popular. Recent polling shows that measures to take on the super rich are what the public wants. In fact, 2 in 3 voters want the government to stand up for ordinary people against the wealthy and financial elites. We have a very simple choice. We, on the progressive side of politics, can now lead the charge for a real alternative to our rigged economic model. Again, glad that he is. If not, the space will now be filled by the right wing populists who can now claim that migrants, disabled people, and benefits and other vulnerable people are to blame for all our problems. They will now let the rich and powerful off the hook. Of course, billionaires and their advocates in the right wing press will claim that a wealth tax will, of course, harm the economy. But let's be clear. These are the very same people who have spent years dodging taxes, stashing their money in offshore accounts, lobbying government to cut taxes for the rich. It is them doing the damage to our economy. These kinds of policies have truly harmed our society and driven back living standards, caused now by a lack of investment in public services and infrastructure. A wealth tax is a way to fix that. Super rich opponents of wealth taxes are also the ones who, throughout their lavish lifestyle, super yachts and private jets and investments now are polluting industries, are now fueling, of course, the climate crisis. The super rich have had it too good for too long. While millions suffer, it is only fair that those of us who have done very well out of our rigged economy should be the ones to foot the bill for it, for the good of people and the planet. So let's build a movement for tax justice. Again, like he's calling that tax justice. That sells so much better, by the way, than a wealth tax. Because if you go, oh no, this isn't a wealth tax, this is about getting tax justice. That's really hard to argue against. If you were sort of trying to stand against that, this isn't just about wealth tax. This is about tax justice and the injustices that these people can afford to pay out for. Kind of a very, very good strapline there. Very, very good indeed. One, of course, that puts forward now a very bold and progressive vision for a better society. Together, we can actually ensure that our government and governments worldwide properly tax the super rich. It is a very key in now building a better future for all. Again, good. Want him to do it. Good that he does this and advocates for this. This is the type of stuff I always said would happen and we would see. And there it is. So, I keep on saying it. There are progressives, and I think a progressive bloc will eventually form and push for a lot of these things that we will see. It is inevitable that we will see this. And they have a lot of good arguments and the right to say that. And like I say, literally 2 in 3 voters want the government to take on the wealthy and the super rich. Kind of a no-brainer. Kind of a big no-brainer on that, to be honest. So, this is the type of stuff I said for the longest time, this type of stuff I wanted to see, and we are seeing it. Shocking that it's now happening when other people have said, the exact opposite, but there you go. So, as the way, thank you very much for watching, and of course, click the like and share button on your way out. So, as always, we'll see you all next time.